I wanted to talk to you about your work with Give Directly and the history and the rationale of Give Directly.
Yeah, absolutely. So what Give Directly does is very simple. We give money to people who need it, no strings attached. And the history comes out of, some of your listeners might know that recently the Nobel Prize was just in economics was just awarded to three economists who really sort of pioneered bringing experiments into economics and sort of replacing some of the theory and aphorisms with putting things to the test in the same rigorous way you would a medicine. And sort of as a result, in the early 2000s, there was a big wave of new studies and new learning about what works and what doesn't. And there were some surprises. It turns out that our track record at things like training or job skills programs is pretty bad, that we spent billions of dollars on it and haven't figured out how to consistently do that well. And then on the flip side, that one of the things that's been one of the sort of more consistent development interventions in terms of producing positive results is just giving people money. And so when we were first founded, our founders were at economics grad school, were looking at that emerging literature, and then also seeing that there wasn't a nonprofit exclusively devoted to delivering cash. And so that's how we got started.
I know we know from, I think it's research by Chandel and Seidel, and this is outlined in Peter Singer's book, The Life You Can Save, that 130 billion is spent a year on aid, but if 66 billion was effectively spent, we could wipe out poverty in 1 year. And we know that traditionally donations to charities have been in-kind donations. I think it's about 94%. So have those donations to those charities been largely ineffective?
I think they certainly haven't been as effective as they could be. One thing that I think holds true is that the people we're trying to help in development, people living in extreme poverty, they are dynamic actors in this system as well. And so if you give them an in-kind aid that they don't want, they'll sell it and get the thing they want. And that's something that you see pretty consistently, whether it's food stamps or livestock or, in-kind food or things like that. There is a pretty consistent pattern that people will sell the thing they don't want and buy the thing they do. And so then it just becomes a more inefficient cash transfer than if you had just sort of done that from the first place. And there are also other in-kind interventions that I think are doing a lot of good. The type Peter Singer mentions in his book, whether it's passing out malaria nets or deworming pills or things like that. But that's a narrow slice of a small proportion of what the overall development sector looks like today.